let's discuss about the gaseous state. It is the simplest state of matter. And if you see the periodic table, there are only 11 elements which exist as gases. These are the 11 elements which exist as gases. Let's see the physical properties of these gases. They are highly compressible. They exert pressure equally in all directions. They are less dense than solids and liquids. And the volume and shape of the gases is not fixed. They assume the volume and shape of the container. And they mix evenly and completely in all proportion without any mechanical aid. Now, the gases have simplicity because the force of interaction between their molecule is negligible. The behavior of these gases is governed by certain laws which are known as what? Gas laws. These laws are relationship between the measurable properties of the gases like temperature, pressure, volume, mass, and these all describe the state of the gas. Then interdependence of these variables lead to the formulation of gas laws. The gas laws are the result of research which is carried on for several centuries on the physical properties of the gases. The first reliable measurement was made by Robert Boyle, and he gave a law which we call as Boyle's law, or the pressure-volume relationship. The law states that at constant temperature, the pressure of a fixed amount of gas varies inversely with its volume. So mathematically, we can write the Boyle's law as pressure is inversely proportional to 1 over volume. We remove the proportionality sign and put a constant, that is K1. So P is equal to K1 1 over V at constant temperature and the amount of the gas. Okay, the amount of the gas is taken to be the number of moles. Now, this K1, it depends upon the amount of the gas, temperature of the gas, units in which pressure and volume are expressed. So we can rearrange this equation and we can get PV is equal to K1. PV is equal to K1. So now if we fixed amount of gas at constant temperature T occupies a volume V1 at pressure P1, then, and such a gas, if it undergoes expansion, then the volume becomes V2 and pressure becomes P2. Then we can write the Boyle law as P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2 is equal to constant. So, or we can write as P1 over P2 is equal to V2 over V1. Now we can draw such graphs at constant temperature. We can draw the graph between pressure and volume and we obtain such curves. So as these curves are obtained at different temperatures, so K1 is different because we have already studied that K1 depends upon the temperature of the gas. So K1 varies with temperature for a given mass of gas. These curves are obtained at constant temperature and are known as what? Isotherms, right? So we can also write, we can plot a graph between pressure and 1 over volume. When we do so, we obtain straight lines which pass from the origin, right? So one more thing which is very important that we can understand from here is that when a given mass of gas is compressed, the same number of molecules, they occupy smaller space. So this means that gas become dense at high pressure. So we can obtain a relationship between density and pressure of the gas using the Boyle's law. So we can write density is equal to mass over volume. We can put the value of volume from the Boyle's law equation. Let's see. As density is equal to mass over volume, so and PV is equal to K1, V is equal to K1 over P. So instead of writing V in this equation, we can write K1 over P, and this can be taken as a constant. So this shows that density is directly proportional to the pressure. So at constant temperature, pressure is directly proportional to the density of a fixed mass of the gas. Now we understand this numerical which is based on Boyle's law. That is, a balloon is filled with hydrogen at room temperature. It will burst if the pressure exceeds 0.2 bar. So if at 1 bar the pressure, at 1 bar pressure the gas occupies 2.27 liter volume, up to what volume can the balloon be expanded? So P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. So we know P1 is 1 bar, volume is 2.27 liter, P2 is 0.2 bar. At this pressure we can find the volume using the Boyle's law, and the volume comes out to be 11.35 liter. So this is the volume at 0.2 bar pressure, and we know that that the balloon is going to burst if pressure exceeds this 0.2 bar. So the balloon should have a volume less than 11.35 liter so that it don't burst, right? So this is the numerical based on Boyle's law. Let's see the practical significance of Boyle's law. According to Boyle's law, the gases are highly compressible. So when a given mass of gas is compressed by increasing the pressure, the same number of molecules, they occupy a smaller space. So as a result of which the gas becomes denser. The air at sea level is dense, but the density as well as the pressure decrease as the altitude increases. For example, the atmospheric pressure at Mount Everest is 0.5 atmosphere. As a result of this, the oxygen in air becomes insufficient for normal breathing, and this is known as altitude sickness. And in this altitude sickness, there is uneasiness, headache, sluggish feeling. So mountain climbers and the Jawans in altitudes like Ladakh, they undergo extensive training to adapt their bodies to low oxygen pressure, or they carry the oxygen cylinders for emergency. Now let's see one more numerical of the Boyle's law. Say a gas molecule occupies 200 milliliter at a pressure of 0.820 bar at 20 degrees Celsius. How much volume will it occupy when it is subjected to external pressure of 1.025 bar at the same temperature? Now the temperature is same, so we'll apply the Boyle's law, which is P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. So we know the P1 pressure is 0.820 and the corresponding volume is 200 milliliter, and we have to find the volume when the pressure is 1.025 bar. So we'll put the values and we'll calculate it to be 160 ml. So these numericals are quite simple. Only thing is you need to understand that this formula is to be applied when the temperature is same. Now let's see one more question. A vessel of 120 milliliter capacity contains a certain amount of gas at 35 degrees Celsius and 1.2 bar pressure. The gas is transferred to another vessel of volume 180 milliliter at 35 degrees Celsius. So what would be its pressure? Again, the vessel of 120 milliliter capacity contains a gas at 35 degrees Celsius and 1.2 bar pressure. So this is the volume, this is pressure at 35 degree, and if the gas is transferred to another vessel of volume 180 milliliter, so the temperature is same, so we have to find the pressure, and then again we'll apply the formula P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. So with that we'll work out the pressure to be 0.8 bar. I hope this is clear to everyone. Now we come to the next law, which is the Charles law. Charles law, volume temperature relationship. It states that at constant pressure, the volume of a given mass of gas increase or decrease by 1 over 273 of its volume at 0 degrees Celsius for each 1 degree rise or fall in temperature. Let V0 is the volume at 0 degrees Celsius and Vt is the volume at T degrees Celsius. So the volume Vt can be written in terms of Charles law as for 1 degree rise in temperature, volume increases by 1 over 273 of its initial volume. For T degree rise in temperature, the volume increases as V0 into 1 over 273 into T, right? So volume at T degree Celsius will be initial volume plus increase in volume. So the initial volume is V0 and the increase in volume is V0 into T over 273. So we can write this expression Vt is equal to V0 1 plus T over 273. Now absolute or Kelvin scale of temperature. See, if we plot a graph between volume versus temperature, we obtain this line. And if we extrapolate this line, we find that at minus 273, the volume becomes 0. So this is the lowest possible temperature at which the volume becomes 0. Below this temperature, the volume will become negative, which is meaningless. So this lowest possible temperature is called the absolute zero temperature. British scientist Lord Kelvin, he suggested a new scale of temperature based on this choice of temperature, which is known as the absolute scale of temperature or the Kelvin temperature scale. This scale is also known as the thermodynamic scale of temperature. Now we can write 0 degree Celsius is equal to 273.15 Kelvin or for simplicity we can say 0 degree Celsius is equal to 273 Kelvin, right? This we can do for simplicity. Now we can find the alternative form of Charles' law. So from this expression only we will derive the Charles' law in Kelvin scale. Vt is equal to V0 1 plus T over 273. So Vt is equal to V0 273 plus T over 273. This 273 plus T is equal to temperature in Kelvin, and this 273 is T0, which corresponds to 0 degree Celsius on absolute temperature scale. So Vt is equal to V0 T over T0. So we can write Vt over V0 is equal to T over T0. Or we can write Vt over T is equal to V0 over T0, or V over T is constant. Or we can write, and this constant is K2. So the above relation can be written as V is equal to K2T, or volume is directly proportional to temperature. So Charles' law can be written as pressure remaining constant, the volume of a fixed mass of gas is directly proportional to the absolute temperature, right? So this is Charles' law in terms of when the temperature is taken to be in Kelvin. Now we see that we can plot a graph between volume and temperature is taken in Kelvin. We see a straight line which passes through the origin. Now if we draw a graph between volume and temperature, so we obtain these curves, and if all these lines are extrapolated, they all meet at minus 273 Kelvin, which corresponds to 0 volume, right? These curves which show the curves showing the volume temperature behavior plotted at different fixed pressures, they are known as what? Isobars. So let's see the practical application of Charles' law. So Charles' law states that gas volume is directly proportional to temperature. That means gases expand on heating. Okay. So since the mass of the gas is constant, so the larger volume at higher temperature will have lower density. That is, hot air is less dense than cool air. So this causes the hot air balloon to rise by displacing the cool air, which is more dense, right? On this principle, hydrogen balloons were developed as a mean of transportation across the Atlantic. However, such airships are not being used because hydrogen is inflammable and the transportation will be risky. But hydrogen balloons and hot air balloons, they are still being used for weather observations. Now let's see one numerical based on the Charles' law. A sample of gas occupies 1.5 liter at 25 degrees Celsius. If the temperature is raised to 60 degree, what is the new volume of the gas if the pressure remains constant? See, if the pressure remains constant means we have to apply the Charles' law, which is V1 over T1 is equal to V2 over T2. One thing you have to take care of, that this temperature has to be in Kelvin, then only this form of the Charles' law we are to use. So first, even if the temperature is in degrees Celsius, you can change it into Kelvin, and putting the values we can obtain the volume, new volume of the gas, right? So we can see one more. A sample of helium has volume 520 milliliter at 100 degrees Celsius. So calculate the temperature at which the volume will become 260. Assume pressure is constant. Again, we'll apply V1 over T1 is equal to V2 over T2. Okay. So 100 degrees Celsius means 373 Kelvin, and we will find, putting the values, we can find the temperature at which the volume will become 260 ml. I hope this is clear to everyone.